This is WWE Wrestling Legend Hall of Famer Tito Santana.
This is WWE NXT Superstar Lexis King.
And you are listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast. Arriba!
And you're listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast. Long live Lexis King.
You're looking at the best there
Austin
is.
316.
What do you guys want to talk about?
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world.
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
We will rest in peace.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. This is episode 39 of the Source WWE AEW All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
And
Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
And today we're going to talk to you. Yeah, we're going to talk to you about this week in wrestling. We're going to go over some shows that happened this week in the world of professional wrestling, and we're going to, just break it down like only we can, give you our thoughts, maybe potential tricklings on what could happen next. But here we go, guys. We're going to start off with some Monday Night Raw talk, and it was a really interesting one this week. We'll just say that. And Monday Night Raw opens up with a segment right off the bat in Greenville, South Carolina. It's Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. And it was a good opening segment, I got to say.
Yeah. Started off with Drew McIntyre coming out.
Yep.
And as it's almost like, once you say the name, they come out. And once he mentioned Damian Priest, he really,
he came
really,
right out.
Came right out with a vengeance. And he
did.
even said when he came out, like, hey, you do a lot of talking and avoiding and whatever. Like, I figured I'd come out and face you face to face.
Like a man.
Like a man.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, it was a cool segment. They're getting their licks in, and Drew was kind of not focused on Punk fully right now, he says, because he does want the World Heavyweight Championship, and it ends with Priest saying, all right, you want a match? You want a title match? You got it. It's not confirmed when it is, but he did agree to give Drew a title match. So we can say for a fact that Drew McIntyre is going to be in a World Heavyweight Championship match very soon in the foreseeable future. And this Monday Night Raw is full once again of King and Queen of the Ring qualifying matches. We had Io Sky versus Shayna Baszler in the second round match, and Io Sky ended up taking the win here. So she moves on. I guess they're trying to build her up a little bit, after dropping the title. What do you think, Mike?
I think that they got to do something with her. They don't want to lose that talent. The funny thing is that Asuka is out, and the group looks better without her. They look more formidable. They flow better. Asuka is very, very
she's
awkward.
She's
and
cringe
she's
right
kind
now.
Of mom-like, or
yeah,
you know what
she
I mean?
is.
Like she's very
it's the
like
hair and the makeup,
hokey.
You know
what I mean?
Yes.
I feel like she wasn't always like that. Yeah. I don't know if she went off and had kids and came back and is
I'm not sure as well.
On that mom life. Like, I don't know if the hair's different or
the hair is different because when she had her NXT run,
terrible. When they walked out together, she'd just be doing these weird dance moves and
like a mom at a soccer game.
Now they came out like a force, like a trio. It feels better. I feel like
more
I don't
serious.
Know, man. I've been telling you to ship Asuka over to AEW.
Yeah, I know
for a long
we've been
time.
saying it,
and that's just how
Still
I feel about it.
happened.
But who got the win in this one?
It was Io Sky, so she's moving on. Like I said, they got to build her up again, make her look strong after dropping
make her
the title.
Go semi-far in this just to keep her credible.
Keep her relevant.
But she won't win it.
No, she's not going to be Queen of the Ring for sure.
No.
I would say you can scratch that right off your list.
I think Jade Cargill is.
Oh, dude, without a doubt. That's where I'm at on the female side.
Yeah, unless she's really screwed over or something.
Yeah, right, exactly. After this, though, we had another qualifying match, another second round match, rather, with the Ring General Gunther facing another New Day member. Was Kofi Kingston, and Gunther just mopped the floor with this dude. He wins this match.
Yeah, Kofi did have some moments.
He did have a couple of moments, but just at the end of the day, it's the Ring General. Especially after dropping the Intercontinental title, this is his new prize that he wants, and I believe he's going to be the one. I'm calling that Gunther wins the King of the Ring tournament.
Yeah, I think that it's either going to be. I can't decide between the favors Gunther, but
for sure. But Randy is still in this tournament.
If they really are trying to keep Gunther feared and whatever, he probably does have to win this, but
Yes.
Jey Uso, it's also kind of must-win situation for
It
Jey
is.
Uso.
It totally
too,
is.
So.
Yep, you couldn't be more right. It totally is because of all of the big title opportunities, the big gold opportunities that he has let slip through his hands, if you can say it that way. So yeah, Gunther's moving on as we thought. Third match now is not a King of the Ring match at all. It's Bronson Reed versus Akira Tozawa, with Bronson Reed going over here. Obviously, squashed him, hit that big tsunami, and Chad Gable is pissed at Tozawa for losing this match. But honestly, he set him up to lose by going up against a guy like Big Bronson Reed. You got to say, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Bronson Reed is turning into a little character himself.
He
a little
is
bit of a force.
Yeah, 100%, and he's moving. He's moving in the right direction. It seems for his character. Up next, we had Lyra Valkyria, the recent NXT call-up. She's in the second round match versus Zoe Stark.
I didn't think she'd win this one,
and
but
she
did. Yeah.
I know she did.
I thought it was kind of like
That's a
get the
big
NXT
push.
superstar some wins in the first round.
Yeah, right.
But
give her
going
some credit.
deeper
But,
into this is kind of cool. Yeah.
She's going on a deep run. She won with that Night Witch. And, that was the end of that. We then move on to the fifth match of the night. It was another Alpha Academy disaster. It was Otis versus Sami Zayn, a non-title match. And Otis was being told, before, during, and after this match to not do the hip gyrations. Gable was just telling him, don't do the caterpillar. Don't do anything that's fun.
He's being very, very... much like a hard coach these days, rather than a nice coach.
Yes,
so
exactly.
It's a different feel.
Whole different feel, yeah. Sami Zayn gets the win here via pinfall, haluva kick. Otis tried doing the worm and the dances, and it ended up Gable actually costed him this match with the scolding, I think, too.
Yeah,
in a way. And then we want to
did
know
more harm than good. That's
it did,
for sure.
Yeah, and we want to know before all that was, before they left and exited the arena, Chad Gable then smacked Otis right in the face. And Otis just sat there and took it. Unfortunately, Otis, I think one day is going to snap and turn on Gable, and it's not going to be pretty for Chad. I think I'll just say that. Otis needs something at this point because it's been really, really dry for him. And then the next match of the night is also not a Queen of the Ring match. This is Becky Lynch versus Dakota Kai, with Becky Lynch coming out with a win via disqualification. Liv Morgan came out there. Everything got blown up, and her revenge tour continues, but Becky Lynch gets the win here. Seventh match of the night now is a number one contendership match for the World Tag Team Championships. Mm-hmm. It is the New Catch Republic versus the AOP, Authors of Pain.
What is the New Catch Republic even about?
I don't even know.
What does the name mean?
I don't know what it means.
New Catch
it means, they caught these guys in gimmicks that can't get over, so let's throw them in a tag team.
Yeah, let's go.
You know what I mean? It was the New Catch Republic, coming up short here because they were also going against not just AOP. It was the Creed Brothers, it was the Judgment Day, and a fatal four-way tag team number one contendership match with the Judgment Day going over. And nice. With the coup de grace, McDonough actually finally is on the winning end of a match here.
Yeah, I didn't know if they were, Damian Priest, they wanted to emerge as a singles competitor.
Right, kind of wanted to break away.
They liked the Judgment Day with the titles.
Yeah.
So maybe this is the swap. You put Damian Priest as the champ for a little while, mm-hmm. and now, this sets up, JD McDonough and
and
Finn Balor.
Yeah, Finn Balor.
For a title run.
Yeah.
As champion.
And the Judgment Day is one of the most recent tag team champions that we've had. So it'll be.
And who better to go against an Awesome Truth?
Yeah.
Right? Because they
Absolutely.
already have a built-in storyline there.
They
so
do.
It all makes sense to
me. They took the titles off of them, so maybe they come back for a vengeance run.
Who do you think wins?
I'm going to go ahead and say that the Judgment Day might win and become another tag team champion. Now the World Tag Team Champions. How long could
I don't think you can.
How long can you keep this going with Awesome Truth? I mean, I love it right now. It's great.
That's the thing. If you don't have Awesome Truth and they're not the champions, what do you do with R-Truth, and what do you do with
go back to
Miz?
comedy stuff. Randomly, Miz can go back to jobbing. You know what I mean? It seems like they're both in a pretty good position right now. We also got
that for a bit.
We also got to talk about how Carlito helped out the Judgment Day here and get that victory.
Yeah, he did. And earlier in the
With a
episode,
backstabber
he
on
met
the
up
announce
with
table.
them, and Dominic Mysterio was like, "Hey, man, like we really need the numbers, and I have an injury, and blah blah blah." It was actually Finn Balor, I think, making the
Balor was making those claims.
Yeah, Balor was making the claims that they kind of did need some help, and it would be good to have him. And Damian Priest reiterated, "You guys can do whatever you want, but I'm not doing
taking
it.
care of
blah,
my
blah,
own
blah.
business.
I don't trust him." And he was like, "You don't trust me?" And Damian was like, "No."
Yeah.
And then he came out and he did that, and Damian afterwards softened a bit, a little bit.
He definitely did a little bit. He was like, "All right, you know what? Good shit, guys. All right, we're good. We're moving on. I'm the World Heavyweight Champion. You know what I mean? You guys are the number one contenders for these new World Tag Team titles. So that's cool. All is well for the Judgment Day as of right now. With
in
Mommy
this
away,
moment, maybe.
It's been rocky. But right now, for this moment, they're okay.
Rocky IV.
Yeah, no shit. And he's not fighting the Russian, I'll tell you that. Now, to end it, we had quite a banger. King of the Ring second round match. We had the Mad Dragon, Ilya Dragunov versus the main event, Jey Uso.
Yep.
A match that's almost like a dream match. It's a match that we never thought we'd see in the main event on Monday Night Raw, especially so early for Dragunov having a main event match here. Jey Uso takes the win here, guys. He's really got something to prove. Dragunov has plenty of time to get built up, but I think that put him over even more. Going against Jey Uso in a match like that. And we had the run-ins with Gunther, where we thought we could, re-spark that rivalry, but obviously not right now. They will definitely go back to that and revisit that now that they're both on the same show, Gunther and Dragunov, because they have a lot of history, right? And they've gone against each other in NXT. They had a banger feud back in those days for like the UK Championship, whatever one that was. And so it is Jey Uso moving on to the third round of the King of the Ring tournament, which is not far away. It's next weekend, guys. So King and Queen of the Ring is coming up before we know it.
Dude.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
We just had,
We just had Backlash.
We just had WrestleMania. It feels like yesterday.
I
and
know.
now we already have the King of the Ring. It's
already.
Like they're really, dominating.
They are. Yeah,
Dominating.
it's tough to hold a candle to anything WWE is doing right now. AEW is doing some cool things. AEW is doing some cool things right now, in my opinion, but they are not on the level of the devil. WWE. And that's Raw, guys. I thought overall it was a good episode, maybe 8 out of 10. A lot of good segments, lots of good wrestling.
It was up there.
Yeah, for sure. Lots of good wrestling, especially Jey Uso and Dragunov, Gunther and Kofi. Matches that we have not seen, and it was really, 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 really entertaining. We now know who moves on, and now that we're done with the Raw talk, we're going to do a little bit of NXT talk. We had some really good moments there, and we're going to hop right into it.
I know we have NXT May 14, 2022.
Yeah.
Show opens up with your first qualifier match for the brand new North American Women's title.
Love it, love it, love it.
It'll be a ladder match that takes place.
Oh, that was a ladder match.
No, not this one.
Oh,
but there will
for
be a
the
ladder
title.
match. Yeah, there will be a
I
ladder
like
match.
That. That's cool.
For the title. Which is only right, because that's how you really go claim
That's
it,
how you
right?
win a title, man, 100%.
First up, we had Sol Ruca. She was going against Izzy Dame.
What a showing for her.
Obviously, we know that Sol Ruca was really, picking up some good steam before her injury.
Yeah, she looked great in this one.
She looks just as good. She's going to get a call up.
Oh, yeah,
within
she's
the
going.
year, I would say.
She's going. Did you see
and,
that move she did to end the match? It was like that flipping springboard thing. It's so
yeah,
cool.
it's called the what do they call that?
It's really, really cool. Some kind of springboard flip thing.
Soul Snatcher.
There you go.
Soul Snatcher.
Yeah, it gets him every time.
Yeah, so she hit that, and that ended that. But I'm gonna be real. Izzy Dame looked good, and I think she looked good because her partner Kiana James has been called up to the big leagues, and she doesn't have her partner anymore.
Exactly,
She gave her,
it's her time.
Yeah, Kiana
now.
was there before the match. She gave her a pep talk. and was like, "You got this," whatever the case.
Yeah,
may
it's your
be.
time now. I'm
and
going.
When Izzy Dame came out, she put up a fight against Sol
Yeah.
Ruka. It wasn't just Sol Ruka just beating her up
No,
over the ring.
no, yeah.
But Sol Ruka did hit the most impressive spots, and
She's athletic as fuck, dude. Yeah, she's good.
Her it's kind of like a RKO, her move.
Yeah, but it's like a flipping springboard into
off
it,
the middle rope kind
it's
of thing.
cool.
And she does a backflip into that, which is cool.
It's fire. Into the
but-
cutter type thing. Yeah, it's dope. I like her.
Yeah. So next up, we have the OTM versus Idris and Malik. Before the match, I remember Idris and Malik backstage, and Malik was just kind of worried. He was rubbing his rabbit's foot. They come out.
The lucky rabbit's foot.
They come out and take it to the OTM. They were hitting a bunch of spots. They looked. I think they looked better in this match because of the things they did against these gargantuans. But the power was too much. OTM won.
Yeah, couldn't overcome
that's how
it.
it went.
Couldn't overcome it.
And they're trying to push Idris and Malik, but they're also trying to make OTM seems like they're kind of like a big indestructible force. So
Yeah, right.
they had to have OTM win this one, but
For sure.
Idris and Malik looked good. They got their pop from it, so that was cool. Now, next up, we had Lash Legend. She was going against Ivy Nile
And she's going crazy
in the
lately.
qualifier. Yep, she is definitely going crazy and having relationships with the good old whoop that trick.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
a statement.
She beat Ivy Nile. It's a good move. Ivy Nile is technically in the big leagues with the Creed brothers.
She's on the main roster for sure.
It wouldn't make sense for her to win this match. Lash Legend is trying to get a push. I don't know if she has what it takes. I really don't. I'm not too
I haven't seen
sold
enough
on
of her.
Lash Legend.
Honestly, I haven't seen
she's
enough
got a great
of her.
name.
Lash
cool
Legend,
gimmick.
it's cool.
But her moves are not. She's
No,
a power
I'm not
wrestler.
missing
I don't
anything
know.
then by
She's not
not
missing a
watching
lot.
her.
She doesn't do anything that wows me, but she's.
I like Ivy Nile though.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, she's a little pit bull.
She
She's
can be
dope.
solid for sure. Now, next up, we had Javon Evans, and he was going against Oro Menza from Metaphor.
Oh,
But,
okay, yeah. The Noam Dar faction.
Yep, Noam Dar. Well, it's actually important to say that at the beginning of the show, Noam Dar was found backstage beaten up, and they didn't know
And
who did
nobody
it.
knew who did it.
Therefore, he couldn't go against Javon Evans. He was supposed to go against Javon Evans.
I see.
Couldn't, and Oro Menza stepped in. And of course, Javon Evans won this one. He just got the call up from Level Up to NXT.
Yeah, got to make him look good.
You can't be losing matches after doing that
No,
unless you're going to be
no.
a jobber.
Yeah,
So,
right.
This is
And,
the guy that's
WWE's not too big on the
yeah,
jobbers.
this is the guy who's bouncy. He's always bouncing. He's kind of
yes.
like Tigger, kind of. I don't know. He just does these
Yeah.
bouncy moves. Everything he does has a lot of air on it. He's got the athleticism to maybe do some new things in wrestling. So
Cool.
it's kind of
Yeah.
exciting to see
I'm
him
here for that,
in a
then.
world where AEW has Ospreay.
Yes.
It's cool to have some young talent like Javon Evans.
You got to have a few of those flippy
who
guys.
looks like
man.
they can really work.
Yeah.
But it's funny because in this match, Metaphor was outside to aid Oro Menza, and they did get involved in the match. But who else to come pump up Javon Evans and help him steal the victory? But Trick Williams, who
Trick
came
himself,
out, blew
the
a kiss
champ.
to Last Legend, and,
of course, yes.
proceeded to help out Javon Evans with the
Yeah.
win. Which
So
is cool.
that's a good cosign to have right there.
Now,
The
next
trickster.
there was a promo where I believe first came out Wesley. Yeah, that's right. Wesley comes out.
Yes,
it
he's
seemed
back,
like it
yes.
was going to be a promo, him addressing, which I like the closure here. They do this. The NXT's really keeping their storylines tight, and I like it. He came
that's
in
Shawn
and
Michaels
he
for you.
addressed the fact of when he came before he's been on hiatus for a little while.
Yes, I know
And
that he's
before his
recently
hiatus,
back.
he came out to the ring and said, "I'm leaving," and didn't really say why. And there was this big shot of him leaving and all
Yep.
this stuff. I didn't
Yeah.
think it was exactly
That sounds familiar.
sure of why he was leaving, but he was injured. He did get had to heal up from his injury.
Yeah, for sure.
But he addressed that. He said, came back. He said he wasn't sure his life was the North American title.
Yeah, right.
And he didn't know what to do with
Now
his life after
Obafemi's
that.
got it. Yeah.
And he wants to come back and prove himself and win it again. He wants his chance. But of course, Ivar,
Love that title.
Ivar comes out. No, not going to happen. Blah, blah, blah. I want my title shot. I'm owed my title shot. And then Josh Briggs come out. No, I want the title shot.
Right.
Femi comes out to address it. And he says, actually, I'm going to be real with you right now. Obafemi came out first, I think, after Wesley.
After
he
Wesley,
came out first,
yep.
and then the others came out. But, he says, Wesley says we should do a fatal four-way. If you're such a great champion, you can do it on a fatal four-way.
Yep.
He says that's why I'm the champion and you're not. You guys will fight it out to decide who faces me.
Yeah, and what's interesting now is that we're seeing reports that Ivar is out of action indefinitely. So I don't know how they, who they would get to replace him, and in this match.
Yeah, I don't think they would at this point.
Yeah, it would be a triple threat.
They would just have those two go against each other. No, it's not a triple threat.
I see.
Yeah. So basically, after that, we had the OC going against Ridge Holland because earlier in this, Ridge Holland is pretty serious in the locker room. The OC comes in. It's kind of disrespectful to him. He pops off a little bit. They say, well, we want to go against you tonight. Find a partner, figure it out.
Okay.
Last minute, right before he goes out, Chase U pops up. It's, Riley Osborne that's going to be his partner, selected by Chase U. And they go into the battle. But at the end of the day, the OC won this, and they got to have OC win this because you're back in NXT. You got to keep winning.
Yeah, man.
But it was a miscue by Riley Osborne where Ridge had Carl set up on his back, and Osborne was supposed to come through and help him drive him down.
Oh, so
and
we had
instead
Anderson
he drop
dead to
kicked
rights.
Ridge by accident, and the OC got the win off that.
I see.
And you're wondering, is Ridge going to hold it together? Is his anger going to get better?
Yeah, right. Is he going to
actually
do
ends
something
up being a
stupid?
class act and says, things happen. I hope that I gained you guys' trust because Ridge is trying to gain Chase U's trust. And there seems to be something going on there. You might see Ridge Holland in a Chase U uniform soon.
That would be interesting to see for sure.
Way to
he
go
needs
with
some kind of switch up because nothing's working.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Next up, we have another interesting match. It's an NXT debut call up from Level Up.
Oh, another one.
Carly Bright, who really athletic girl. Honestly,
I haven't seen her yet,
but she's always happy. That's her thing. She's always happy,
I see.
smiling. That's her.
She's
her
like
whole
Smiley
gimmick.
Kylie Ray. I remember her
Exactly.
from her.
So,
from her run.
she made an impressive debut, but Lola Vice had to get the win on this.
She's just too experienced.
She got her call up maybe 6-7 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, you can come a long way in that time.
Yeah. But
gets the win.
Lola Vice is being pumped up, and they have to keep going that route. But
Yeah.
I'd say Bright had some spots in it and looked all right. So it was a cool match.
Cool.
Next up, we had Tony D'Angelo, and he was going against Charlie Dempsey for the Heritage Cup. But it's important to know that Tony D'Angelo and the family took 2 members of the No Quarter Catch crew. And they pretty much kidnapped them and beaten them up or something.
Oh, no way.
And they're
Took
all
them
looking
out.
for them.
Sleeping with
NXT's
the
looking
fishes.
for them. They're making sure that it's a fair fight, that they wouldn't be at ringside.
Yeah.
They actually do show up at ringside, but it doesn't matter. The Don gets the win and wins the Heritage Cup, and the family has some kind of gold now, which is great.
They've been chasing it. I know they've been chasing it for a while.
And
Dempsey loses the cup. Wow.
In the background, after the match, they panda backstage, and all of a sudden, you see Ivar, you see Josh Briggs, and you see Wesley, the 3 number 1 contenders.
Yep.
And they are just beaten up everywhere. They're just it looks like they have been
attacked.
totally
They've
beaten
been
up,
mauled,
and there are some Wolverines attacking them, and hands up and it's Gallus. They're
Dude,
back.
they're returning
and they
Gallus.
look amazing.
And they look sick. Yes, they do.
It's going to be sick. I was waiting for them to come back because they were one of my favorite factions, and I think that they're due for a call-up, so it should be a nice little NXT run to get them up there right now.
I like
I'm interested to see what happens.
Yeah, for me, it was. I'm not a frequent NXT guy. Today was my first. Watching the recap that you sent me was my first visions of Gallus, and I thought they looked pretty badass, dude. And they look like they mean business, so I'm here for it, man, for sure.
They kind of remind me of the same vibe as Bullet Club Gold.
Yeah, they definitely looked cool. They got one of them, the names, excuse me. He had this pretty cool curly mustache going on.
There's Mark Coffey, Joe Coffey, and Wolfgang.
There you go. Okay, yeah, pretty dope, dude. I like it, man. I like it a lot. And now we are going to move on, guys. We are going to transition into AEW Dynamite, and it was a good episode this Wednesday. You know what that means. Match number 1 of the night. We start off with some action. We have Blackpool Combat Club versus Don Callis family members. And was the BCC getting the win here? It is Jon Moxley with a Death Rider to Kyle Fletcher, who had a very good showing in this match. Fletcher looked really, really good, but they came up short against the BCC. Once again, Moxley with the Death Rider to pick up the win. And as Moxley is celebrating, out of nowhere comes, maybe through the crowd, is Konosuke Takeshita, takes out Jon Moxley, once again implying that he wants his shot at the IWGP Championship. And,
he should.
And we assume that's where it's going on that one. Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita would be a match that I would absolutely have to see, 100%. Next, though, it's supposed to be a segment here, guys, with Adam Copeland, and he's supposed to come out and call out Malachi Black, so on and so forth. He's going through every House of Black member, up to Malachi now on this Cope Open run, and as he's coming out, the entire House of Black just comes out. Well, it starts with Brody King and Buddy Matthews. They come out, they destroy Adam Copeland, dude. Like, they stole his wedding ring off of his hand.
Wow.
Yeah, they took it. They
went hard on him.
Yeah, they absolutely destroyed Copeland. It is not looking good for him. Is he going to make it to Double or Nothing to defend the title? I am not sure. It was that bad of an attack, and it was just, it was not looking good for Adam Copeland after this. And the second match of the night now are the Young Bucks versus the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels, and Matt Sydal. Christopher Daniels, being a TNA legend, was pretty cool to see him out there. And the Young Bucks take the win here, though, guys. And we want to mention that the Young Bucks also announced on this episode that they have their own Reebok pump sneaker coming out called the Super Kicks. And I honestly am thinking about grabbing a pair. I'm not a massive fan of the Young Bucks, but they look pretty damn cool. Young Bucks get the win here, guys, and then that brings us to match number 3, Mike. It's the return of Hook, the cold-hearted, handsome devil.
Something
Hook.
I can get interested in, finally.
Absolutely. Hook is back, and he's going against Sebastian Wolf. Easily takes him out with a T-bone, a crossface, the red rum. Boom. Match is over, and Hook grabs the mic, and he's like, yo, this ain't why I'm here. Not for this little squash match. I want Chris Jericho. I want my title back. Jericho comes out, and he ends up just getting absolutely just destroyed by Hook. He ended up needing stitches or staples in the back of his head after this attack from Hook. So Hook is not playing around at all. The Learning Tree are in trouble. Jericho and his protege, Big Bill, it looked like he took the corner of the microphone to the back of his head. That's how bad he was bleeding. He just rocked him with it.
Oh, wow.
Jericho needed stitches or staples at some point after that. Next match, though, guys, it's number 4 of the night. It is the AEW World Championship Eliminator. It is Brian Cage versus Swerve Strickland, our champion. Whose house? Swerve's house. And it is Swerve's house indeed. He gets the win here, guys. It was a good showing. As he should, absolutely. So now Brian Cage is no longer eligible for a title shot by losing the Eliminator. Swerve wins it with the house call. Did have some shining moments from Brian Cage, but needless to say, Swerve takes it, runs with it. After the match, though, guys, that's when things started to really fall apart for Swerve, because after the match, it's the patriarchy coming out. It's Christian, Christian Cage. It's Nick Wayne, Kill Switch, formerly known as Luchasaurus, and it's not looking good. They surround Swerve in the ring, and Christian Cage, being the heel that he is, the piece of shit that he is, he's got a picture of Swerve's family in his hands in a frame. And he just hits Swerve over the like in the temple with it, and then Swerve is just leaking blood. It's just shooting out of the side of his head. Like, oh wow! It's just squirting out. Like it didn't look good for Swerve. He was really taken advantage of here by the patriarchy, and honestly embarrassed. Swerve will come back hard from this one, guys. There is no doubt about it, because Swerve can outswerve anybody, I would say, when it comes to doing some not so nice things to somebody. So we hope Swerve's good. That was a really nasty laceration from that picture frame glass that got smashed over his face, with a picture of his family inside. In match number 5, guys, it is Harley Cameron versus our AEW Women's World Champion, Timeless Toni Storm. And they're really building up this Harley Cameron, I see. She had a barn burner match with Timeless Toni, and Toni ended up winning it with the Storm Zero, her spike pile driver type finishing move, but Harley Cameron took it to her. And also need to note after this match that Serena Deeb was out there, just eyeing Toni Storm down. Obviously, she's coming for her at Double or Nothing, so on and so forth. And then we have match number 6. But before match number 6, we have the contract signing for the AEW TBS Championship, which we have to talk about a little bit. The contract signing. It is, challenger Mercedes Moné, who is out first, and she's up against the reigning TBS champion, Willow Nightingale. And it seems like the crowd is turning their back on Mercedes Moné already. People are booing her. They are cheering Willow. They want to see Willow go over. They're having their debate at the contract signing now. And obviously, it ends up with jawing, flapping lips, and then Willow just grabs Mercedes Moné and just pulverizes her through this table after they both signed the contract. And Moné is just laid out. It's not looking good for her at all. Willow going into Double or Nothing with the upper hand and the momentum right now. So it'd be interesting to see if they do keep the title on Willow, or if they're just doing this to make it seem more of a shock when Mercedes Moné beats her for the TBS Championship. We will see. Match number 6 of the night, though, guys. It is the AEW Continental Championship. The Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, versus FTR's own Dax the Axe Hardwood. And though Hardwood came close, Dax, the living legend himself, it was Okada getting the win here with the Rainmaker. He retains the championship.
Seems to be doing okay.
Yeah, he's doing good. He's kind of growing on me more and more. I think now that he's been in AEW and in America for a little while, he's kind of getting more comfortable. It's a whole new world, I assume. And he's having some shining moments. I'm liking the Rainmaker and what he's doing right now. But after the match, the Whole Elite storm the ring now. And we have to note that this Team Elite versus Team AEW thing that's going down, Mad King Eddie Kingston is out. He had a match in New Japan. He's seriously hurt. They posted pictures of him in a wheelchair, smoking a blunt. You know what I mean? And he is out now. So you're kind of thinking, who's the fourth man going to be, right? So the Elite storm into the ring. They're putting boots to Dax Hardwood from FTR. Cash comes out to make the save, but the numbers are too much. And out of nowhere, it's the returning Darby Allin. The crazy bastard, he's back. He is now the fourth man. They were even saying, I thought Darby was supposed to climb Everest. They have to mention that. Yeah. Darby is back. He is the fourth man for Team AEW in his hometown in Washington. He helps clear the ring, and with his skateboard, and Team AEW stands tall. So it's going to be very interesting with Double or Nothing, I think 10 days away now. it's all becoming finalized now with the Team AEW versus the Team Elite, if you will. And you have Okada, the Rainmaker. You have the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. You have the scapegoat, Jack Perry, who's more over than he's ever been right now because of this whole CM Punk drama. And it really worked out in his favor because before that, he was doing nothing. So CM Punk, you kind of helped him out a little bit with that. And then they're going against the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, against guys like Darby Allin. It's just incredible that we're going to see this match and a lot of talent in one match here. And I'm excited for Double or Nothing, guys. That wraps up Dynamite. I thought it was a solid episode for sure. Lots of good technical wrestling as well. AEW, we're the best wrestle, and Will Ospreay is going to have a match on this week's Collision. We are looking forward to that as well because to end this, just to add a little tidbit, we did have a backstage segment with AEW International Champion Roderick Strong and the rest of the Undisputed Kingdom. And Will Ospreay, and they agreed to talk to each other, with no hands being thrown, nothing like that. And Ospreay is saying he doesn't respect Roderick Strong. He respects the championship, so on and so forth. They're getting in each other's face. And I really think it's Ospreay's title to win.
Yeah, but of course.
Roderick
has he lost?
No.
So will he lose?
And he will not. No. Nah. He's not losing, but Roderick Strong is, talking about his big neck injury that he had, and he came back stronger than ever. He's been a solid champion, which he has. He's solid in the ring. Love his end of heartache finisher. It's really, really cool, but he's taken a back seat to the aerial assassin. In my opinion, it's Will Ospreay, who's going to win his first singles championship in AEW against Roderick Strong. I think he definitely has what it takes to get it done, and that's going to do it for Dynamite, guys, for AEW this week. We do have some open discussion battle royal questions for you guys before we leave the studio tonight. So we will get right into that now. You're listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast. We have some open discussion questions now of what's going on in the world of wrestling today. And Mike's going to start us off. Let's go.
Yeah, Judgment Day has stuff going on.
They do.
I'm not sure which ways this is breaking. Everything from Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan mysteriously having some kind of connection.
Yes.
Damian Priest wanting to be on his own
Kind of
all
wanting
the
to be
time.
the lone wolf now.
Yep. And then you have Dominic Mysterio as well, bringing different people into the
Carlito,
faction. We're trying to.
Andrade.
Yeah, and Damian Priest having friction with that.
Yeah, he's not really liking it, but he was pretty acceptive of Carlito at this time. So does he join the Judgment Day? Does he just help out and hit a backstabber every now and then just to ensure their victory? We don't know. But we do know that Damian Priest is the World Heavyweight Champion. He wants to have a fair and respectable title run. He's made it clear as El Campeon. So Judgment Day, could they bring in somebody else? Could they bring in somebody we're not expecting? It's interesting.
I could see it going this way. I could see maybe them trimming the fat a little bit. Damian Priest needs to stay in a faction, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like on his own he wasn't this.
Yeah, if you trim it down, you might have him, Balor, and JD, and then maybe somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Is there somebody else that they can bring into this?
They break off Dominic, because I think Dominic's going.
He might go to Phantasma or something.
I think maybe he goes to Phantasma with Carlito.
He's a good fit. He's a good fit for that group. He could lead that group, and Santos Escobar could kind of take a backseat to Dom, I feel.
Yeah. But the thing is what shows is which on? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they're on opposite shows, so that might not be possible. Mm-hmm. But it'll be interesting.
So maybe
to see.
this just plays out as Carlito ends up joining the Judgment Day,
right? For a little while,
and then Morgan takes Rhea's spot.
Yeah,
that could also.
I could see her in the Judgment Day. She's dark. She's vindictive. You know what I mean? It's very, very possible that she could be part of the Judgment Day, especially with all these little Easter eggs backstage, getting caught in the same room with Dominic, like we were saying, and all that stuff. So it's interesting to see where that will go. And speaking about the Judgment Day, Braun Strowman ran into the Judgment Day. He's saying,
he ran into JD McDonough.
Yes.
Who basically was like overstepping big time.
Yeah, big time. He's out of your league, bro. And, Braun Strowman was kind of making jokes backstage with the other guys. Oh, I got to watch out for Judgment Day. They're coming after me type deal, which Braun has nothing to worry about. He's the monster of all monsters. I think
he was talking with the Creed brothers.
Yeah, is that who it was?
Yep. Real recognizes real.
Absolutely, yeah. Those guys are freaking great. We already know that. So will somebody new join the Judgment Day is the question. Or will Carlito join? Will Liv join?
Or will they implode?
Yeah, or will they just blow up without Mommy here?
Is this the end of the
Once again, is this
Day?
the end of the Judgment Day where Priest just goes on his own and has a solo run, but I don't know if it'll work. We'll have to stay tuned to find out, guys. That's for sure.
Yeah, next up we have the King of the Ring predictions by me and Joe.
Yes.
It is next weekend.
It is.
We would like to make our predictions that are usually pretty accurate. Because
we've been on a roll.
will hear it first on the source.
Yes, you will.
First, who's your king?
Me, my king, it's easy. There's no other question. It is going to be crowned King Gunther. The Ring General is King of the Ring. I think it's very close, but, he just has that extra gear that he can kick into, and I think he wins this. Who's your king?
I'm very hung up on Gunther and Jey Uso.
Yeah, like you said earlier, this is a must-win for Jey, I feel.
Especially because Gunther already put Jey down once.
He did in an Intercontinental Championship match.
A big blow to Jey to lose this.
Again.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
What are they doing to Jey? Why would they even put him in this?
I know.
I don't know why they would even put him in this if he's going to lose.
I know. And you know what? I'm going to say this. Before I would say no, but now that I've seen what happened, if Sami Zayn can beat the Ring General, main event Jey Uso can beat him too.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I'm going to go with Gunther.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
the smart choice.
Safe. I want to try to go 5 for 5. I went 5 for 5 on Backlash.
On Backlash, yep. I had a hot take and it came back to bite me in the ass. Yeah.
I'm not trying to have some hot take, but I was like, maybe Jey Uso, but
yeah.
Gunther's going to win this one.
He's going to do it. And I'm going to say it now. He does it by submission. Just to look that much more dominant. He will hit that power bomb, but I think he's going to...
He has been Boston Crabbing it.
Yep,
so.
yeah.
And your Queen of the Ring. Who do you see
My
there?
Queen of the Ring. Ooh, this is a tough one. Man. With everything involved and the stakes, I got to say it's Jade. I got to say there's no other option than Jade Cargill, but she's got to get through a very tough Nia Jax, Mike. And I think this might be Nia's time. Jade's already a champion.
I don't know how this goes. Is it just one-on-one match for the
for the crown? Yes. Yep.
Okay, so therefore
bracket style tournament.
It only makes sense that Nia Jax and Jade Cargill finally meet in an epic match for the Queen of the Ring, and Jade wins.
Yeah, and Jade wins. Yeah, I mean, I'd
Jey
rather
Uso versus Gunther.
I'd rather see Jade win it. I do think there is a strong chance, though, that Nia Jax could pull it off and pull the upset with winning the Queen of the Ring against Jade Cargill. But you never know.
No, Jade Cargill is not losing.
If it's up to me, Jade Cargill does not lose 100%. She wins. But I'm just saying, guys, don't be surprised if they finally give Nia Jax her flowers. She's been playing a very good heel lately, with everything she's been doing, and she's been putting a lot of people over. Maybe it's her time. Maybe it's just the storm that comes in and destroys it. And your Queen of the Ring is Jade Cargill. We'll have to see. King and Queen of the Ring is next weekend, and we are pumped up for that, guys. We're going Ring General Gunther and the Storm Jade Cargill for King and Queen predictions.
Yeah, and then we have matches. We have Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul, title for title. Who's going to win?
Versus champion, title for title. I'm going to go ahead and say if I had to pick a winner, it would be obviously Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
I think this match ends in a disqualification. Something happens. I don't know what. Maybe it's this new Wyatt family, the Wyatt Six. Something happens. It might not even necessarily be that, but if something happens and there's a disqualification, the titles stay where they are. I think this is just going to be a really good match between the two of the top wrestlers in the game right now, Logan Paul and Cody Rhodes.
No way that Cody doesn't win this match, so you're going no DQ.
I'm going DQ, yes.
You're going DQ, I'm going Cody Rhodes.
You're going Cody double champ.
Cody double champ.
I feel like that's the idea that I want, but I feel like they won't do it because Logan's still hot right now. He's on a hot streak. I really think you got to put him in a LA Knight feud for that title. But anyway, Cody being the double champion would be great because that would make him a Grand Slam champion. That is the title that has eluded him now, the only one left. And if they do that, cool, I'm here for it. But if it ends via DQ, I'm still cool with it. With whatever kind of interference or, whatever it may be. I don't think there's a winner to this match. That's what I'm going to go.
Okay. Now we have Becky Lynch versus Liv. Who wins this one?
I'm going to go Liv. I'm going Liv here.
I'm going Becky.
You're going Becky to retain. Okay, so we're against each other here. I'm going to say it's the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour. Becky took the championship to just hold it for a little bit, because Rhea had to go. You had to put it on a credible person, and Liv has been building her way up, and she's the one who took out the champ. I think it's watch me time. I think Liv wins this match, new champion.
I think Becky wins, but I think that sets up for more for them.
Okay.
And I think they have another match, and that's when Liv takes it.
Okay. But. Yeah, and she's already a former women's world champion. She did it off a cash-in, a Money in the Bank cash-in, and she had a very short reign. But, it was worth it, in my opinion. It put her over pretty good. And, that's my prediction. I predict it's Liv Morgan, new champ.
Great. Now we also have Sami Zayn versus Gable versus Bronson Reed for Intercontinental Championship. Who wins this match?
I am going to go Sami retains. That's where I'm at. I see Gable maybe having a run in the future because he's come so close so many times, and I just don't see them putting the championship on another heel right now. Bronson Reed will probably look really good in this match. I say Sami retains with a haluva kick. Where you at with it?
Gable.
Okay.
I think if they're trying to set him up and they're making this new look for him, a new faction, he's got to have a title to make him even more heel.
True.
You know what I mean?
He's been chasing it over a year.
Give him the title. Sammy had his run, whatever.
Yeah, I kind of like, if that happens, I would kind of like because, we just had a 666-day Intercontinental Championship reign. We don't need another one of those right now. I think if they pass the title along, maybe Otis comes out and, helps Chad, even though he's he's torn. Okay. Yeah, I like that take. I like that you have Gable winning. I wouldn't be surprised if Sami retains.
I think he wins at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it might be now. I think
fair enough.
Sami Zayn served his purpose. He got to defend his title in areas that he wanted to.
Yes, and he defeated the Ring General at WrestleMania. So, That'll never be forgotten.
Yeah. Now,
for sure.
Next on the docket, I want to talk about will Adam Copeland beat Malachi Black?
Ooh.
It's the final test for him against them.
He's gone against every House of Black member that there has been. And he's gotten it done so far. But, like we just talked about on Dynamite, he got really, really beat down. Take his wedding ring off, just destroy him with every possibly thing that isn't bolted down. I think it's time for Adam Copeland to drop the title. I got Malachi Black winning at Double or Nothing. Finally solidifies him as a singles competitor because as Aleister Black in NXT in his short time in main roster, this dude was unstoppable. He is a former NXT champion. He has all the tools. He has the look. He's got the moveset. What
was his falling out at WWE?
I think he was just
he was such a force.
He was not. Here's how it happened. They brought him up in NXT. They cultivated him there. He had a title run. He was Aleister Black. Everything was great, and then they put him on the main roster and didn't use him as Aleister. They just didn't use him at all. Probably a Vince move. You know what I mean? And he was released, and it was a shock. It was like that Bray Wyatt release. It was a shock. Why release this guy? He's got all the tools. He's got the look. He's got the moves. And AEW and Tony Khan cashed in, and now he's Malachi Black. And, I think it's finally time for him to win some gold, some singles gold. They have been trios champions, the House of Black, but this would be his first major singles title in AEW. And I think Copeland brought plenty of time. Yeah, Copeland brought plenty of credibility to this title after taking it from Christian, and I say it's time for Malachi Black. Let's put some gold on that boy.
Enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
Enough is enough, and it's time for a change. I am not a nugget. Woo! Missed that.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, I know.
Now we want to close this out as we always close this out with some MJF news.
MJF
couple things.
News.
One of which. For some reason, Eric Bischoff is
he
vocal.
opens up his yapper and he's
now,
saying...
here's the weird part.
Yes.
Both of these updates have to do with WWE people.
They do. They do.
Which is interesting.
It is.
Because he's
getting the attention
I was leaning
of all the
towards
right people.
AEW heavy for him. But
you got
Eric,
WWE guys,
Eric Bischoff seems like he's saying that, MJF won't take AEW to the next level when he returns. It's going to be different, he says, or whatever the case may be. Now, he is saying that he is returning, but is this a last-ditch effort to dissuade? You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. There's a lot going on in AEW right now.
And on top of that, Drew McIntyre made a major MJF reference.
He did. It was
that.
Yep, in that beginning and opening promo, he was talking about CM Punk. He says, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled. It was one of those lines, and we all know as MJF fans that his devil line is the greatest trick the devil ever pulled, was convincing you that he doesn't exist. And was Drew McIntyre throwing on an homage to MJF there? Because Punk and MJF had a huge rivalry, probably the best AEW rivalry and feud that I've ever seen. It's cinematic. It really was. It was top-notch. Is Drew McIntyre throwing a little nudge out there that, MJF is coming, or what's it going to be? We know that he just had surgery. We know he's out of action right now, but he's out doing signings. He's sharing certain little cryptic things on social media. Where is MJF right now? Probably somewhere in Long Island, hitting the gym, getting buff, deciding where he's going to take his his talents to.
He's right.
I think he's going to sign with AEW. I really, really do, but WWE is a place.
However, he could cultivate more there and come to us in 5 years and be in a better position.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's very young.
He's very young, yes. And WWE is a place where he can thrive, but I just don't think it's right now with the amount of talent in the main event scene right now.
Yeah,
where do you put Maxwell, Jacob Friedman? You don't put him in a tag team. You know what I mean?
No.
You don't have him go for the U.S. title.
Especially with well, I mean, they might be saving the title for him because they're having Ospreay go for the international title.
Correct.
They're having Okada.
Okada is defending the Continental Championship.
Okay.
And we have Swerve defending against Christian as well, against Christian Cage. And Swerve, his run hasn't been, very long yet. It's only been since Dynasty. But I think it's been good so far. I think it's been solid. I think he's doing all the right things. He's going back to old wrestling promotions that he's been a part of. He's bringing the title with him. He's staying and meeting and greeting every fan. I think as a champion, he's doing it right.
Here's the caveat to that.
Yeah.
If MJF's a hot item and it was probably an arm and a leg for AEW to get him back if they did.
Right.
Who's to say that he didn't have a clause that says if I'm coming back, I want the belt back?
Ah, yes. And,
you know what I mean?
Yep, he dropped the belt.
Which could have trumped,
It would trump
Swerve.
anybody. Yeah, I'm sorry. Love Swerve to death. He's an awesome champion right now, but MJF being the champ is my comfort zone, you can say. And if they were to do that, I think it means ratings. Every time MJF comes out, he makes you feel.
Yep.
He's the part of the show. It's the MJF show.
Yeah, it's the MJF show.
Who are we kidding?
Mm-hmm.
100%. Speedy recovery out to him for sure. So, can Swerve defeat Christian Cage and the Patriarchy and deal with them now that the Mogul Embassy has turned on him as well? Swerve is alone. It's only him and Prince Nana. And Prince Nana is not a fighter, man. He's a dancer. So, we'll have to wait for Double or Nothing to see. And, that's where I'm at with it, 100%. All right, guys, and before we go, we want to thank you for listening, and we're going to leave you guys with a little bit more of On This Day in Wrestling History, May 17th in Wrestling History. Let's go, brothers.
Yeah, let's go. On this day in wrestling history, we have our notable wrestling birthdays.
Yes, sir.
First up is Cash Wheeler of FTR, born in 1987.
Living legend, top guy.
2 years younger than I. Now, also we have a dual birthday. The twins, Dave and Earl Hebner, both referees for the WWE.
Legendary referees.
1949, and that wraps up our birthdays in wrestling history.
We had three really solid ones today, and on this day in wrestling history, 1993 is the year on a live edition of WWF Monday Night Raw from their early home, the Manhattan Center. It was Marty Jannetty defeating Shawn Michaels to win the Intercontinental Championship. It finally happened. It was a big upset. Nobody expected Marty to win. He finally gets it done, steps out of his partner's shadow for the time being, and becomes the new Intercontinental Champion. And this happened on this day in wrestling history.
And on this day in wrestling history in 1963, the great Bruno Sammartino,
longest reigning champ ever,
defeated the Nature Boy Buddy Rogers by submission
the original
to win the
Nature Boy.
WWF World Heavyweight title in Madison Square Garden in New York City. This was the first time the championship would change hands, and Sammartino would go on to reign as champion for almost 8 years.
And that is a reign that even Roman Reigns couldn't crack.
No.
I don't think anybody will touch that reign, the legendary Bruno Sammartino. And that happened on this day in wrestling history. And also on this day in wrestling history, the year is 2009. It is the rated R superstar, we just talked about him, Edge, pinning Jeff Hardy to retain the World Heavyweight Championship in the main event of WWE Judgment Day. And also on that card from on this day in wrestling history, we had John Cena defeating The Big Show. We also had Batista winning by DQ over WWE Champion Randy Orton in the title match. And Rey Mysterio also pinned Chris Jericho to retain the Intercontinental Championship. That happened on this day in wrestling history.
And on this day in wrestling history in 1997, The Undertaker defeated Mankind and retained the WWF Championship in a lumberjack match at the WWF House Show in Madison Square Garden. So there was a nice title match, lumberjack match.
Lumberjack,
at a house show.
you don't see that anymore.
That's amazing. And in the main event, the Legion of Doom and Stone Cold Steve Austin defeated the Hart Foundation members Brian Pillman, Owen Hart, and the British Bulldog in a 6-person. Of course, you don't remember it. It was a house show.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it wasn't televised. That's an awesome. That crowd got their money's worth that night. On this day in wrestling history, the year is 2010, a match that nobody thought they'd ever see. It was Bret the Hitman Hart defeating The Miz for the U.S. Championship in a no-rules match on Monday Night Raw in Toronto, and Bret Hart quickly vacated the title, and this would be the last championship he would win in his career, and that happened on this day in wrestling history as well, brothers.
Yeehaw.
And the last one, I've got to mention this one. On this day in wrestling history, the year 2020, Shad Gaspard from Crime Time sadly passed away, age 39, in a tragic drowning accident. He was him and his son. He ended up saving his son's life and ended up passing away. Body was never recovered. He is presumed buried at sea. Rest in peace, Shad Gaspard. You are a legend, my friend, for saving your son's life and sacrificing your own. And they do have an award, I believe, that's part of the Hall of Fame that he did win. I believe it was the Warrior Award, for doing what he did for his family. That's on this day in wrestling history, guys. Once again, you're listening to The Source.
What on this day in wrestling history?
Absolutely. That was probably one of our best ones, I gotta say. May 17th has been a really good day for wrestling and a really sad day for wrestling as well. But once again, you are listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast, and we appreciate you guys sticking with us. We're trying to keep it interesting, trying to switch up the format as we go here, and we are available on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. You can follow us on X, Instagram, TikTok, wherever your boat may float. We will be there, brothers. Once again, you are listening to The Source, WWE, AEW, All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
and
Mike. Yeah. And till we eat again, let us talk to you, brothers.
Yeah.
We will talk to you next time. Yeah.